Here on the Colour of Country Life, Flow FM, we're speaking with Councillor Mary Ann Brown from Rural Councils Victoria. Thanks for joining us on Flow today.
Great to speak to you, Ricky.
Now, Rural Councils Victoria, conceptually you sort of got the metro councils are a group and then regional cities, and then you pick up the rest that are in the more dispersed regions. Is that right?
Yeah, so we cover 38 councils across Victoria and probably over 75% of the geographic area.
Yeah, and so just an example, some of the councils, some like in our family, like Yarriambiack, North Grampians, they're all in that group?
Yes, Gannawarra, Bull Oak, yes, so quite. So we basically cover the state from east to west. So we go as far as in the east, we've got East Gippsland, and then we've got those border councils, Hindmarsh, Bull Oak, Yarriambiack, yeah, so we cover a big area.
And your own council is in the Grampians as well, is that right?
Yeah, so we're Southern Grampians and Hamilton's our main town, and we've got 9 smaller towns. So I live near Dunkeld, which is on the edge of the Grampians.
All right, great. Now, this initiative we've picked up, you've been talking about, you're trying to attract business to some of these smaller rural towns. Well,
look, probably the philosophy behind this, Ricky, is that much of the food is grown in rural Victoria, and this is really sort of looking at what the opportunities are to value add closer to where food is grown, and there's some real opportunities here.
Yeah, and I noticed you're saying that you're even helping businesses thinking of relocating out of, say, metropolitan Melbourne, helping them link up with council staff that could, smooth the process to making the relocation happen?
So what we've done is we've had a project, we employed some consultants, and they've had extensive discussions with councils that are interested in participating. We've got over 20, and they've looked at gathering information about the actual area, what land might be available. We've got information about relative land values, metropolitan versus rural areas, and then there's contact details for those councils, and also maps and other information that's available, looking at trends for food and beverage manufacturing. So there's quite a lot of information that's available to people who might be interested, but initially what we want to do is people to have a think about it, make contact with those councils and explore what the opportunities are, because we think there are many.
And your primary target there is food and beverage manufacturing, or is it open to other manufacturing or other businesses might be looking to get out of metropolitan Melbourne?
We're probably primarily focused on food and beverage. There's nearly 4,000 of those businesses located in Melbourne, and many of them are facing challenges because of the encroachment of residential areas and that sort of uneasy relationship when you close to residential areas. And also, obviously, there's a significant difference in terms of the land value. In rural communities, land is much cheaper. So those are some of the opportunities that we see.
Yes, I take it part of the program you're suggesting there might be some sort of land envelope you might be able to put between a manufacturing plant and where anyone lives.
We think that's probably much easier to do in rural communities just because of the greater availability of land and you haven't got the same population.
And I guess when it comes to the workforce those plants might need, there's enough there, you believe, in the rural towns or enough housing to bring the workers in?
Look, that probably could be a challenge in some areas, but I think where there's investment in these businesses, you'll then find that there'll be investment in housing, and also it encourages people to move. We've already seen a move to rural communities as a result of the pandemic, and we think that's likely to continue.
And so this, there's a website, I believe you've got. Is there a web address people can go to if they want to maybe make a suggestion to someone that their business might want to explore moving into a rural town?
Yes, there is. It's ruralcouncilsvictoria.rezme.com.
So ruralcouncilsvictoria.rezme.com.
Correct.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's it's a good initiative and interesting to our listeners, not just in Victoria but in other states as well. A push to help as the pandemic makes people realise maybe they don't want to be living in metropolitan areas anymore. Maybe the businesses could follow them as well.
We certainly think so, Ricky, and I think it's also an opportunity for our rural economies to diversify. Many of them are very reliant on agriculture, which at the moment is doing really well. But, there are cycles, so it's good to strengthen your local economy.
Well, Councillor Mary Ann Brown, thanks so much for joining us and talking about this initiative. We look forward to hearing some success stories one day.
We certainly will be following up once this really gets going to give some information about what sort of take-up there's been, and really appreciate your interest, Ricky. Thank you.